Speaking to me now is Carmarthen boxer Angelo Dragone. You've got a big fight coming up on Saturday night in the Newport, the Neon Centre in Newport.
Yeah, fighting on Saturday at the Neon Newport, fighting Reece Saunders. It's my first 6 rounder, so definitely a step up in opponent. And obviously stepping up the 6th round. Been training really hard and looking forward to Saturday night.
What type of things have you been working on in the gym getting ready for this fight?
I recently had a strength and conditioning coach on board, Animal Performance. He's helped me making the weight more better, feeling stronger at the weight, and obviously I'm up with Richie in Swansea, doing my boxing sessions there, and at the CFK Kickboxing Club and Robert Davis Gym Clonethley. So I've been training all over the place really, travelling about, sparring, yeah, putting the work in really.
You've had this will be a 3rd fight on Saturday now. How much do you think you've improved, or do you feel you've improved as a pro boxer in that period of time?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely improving every fight. You can see by the performances. I'm finishing the fight stronger. My first fight I was getting a bit tired in the last round. Last fight in the last round I was bouncing on my toes, ready to go for more, like some fitness and endurance, and just overall bettering myself, feeling good.
And what can you tell us about your opponent you're facing on Saturday night?
Opponent's Reece Saunders. Yeah, he's been about. He started off as a prospect, went on the road a bit, picked up a few losses, but he comes in as a go and he can whack a bit. He's put a lot of opponents down. He's an experienced guy, and it's going to be a tough test. And, I'm looking forward to the test.
So he's the type of guy probably who's a bit of a banana skin if you haven't got your head screwed on right.
100%, yeah, definitely.
So what's it like to be fighting on a big championship card in the Newport, in the Neon Centre in Newport?
Yeah, I'm excited. My trainer manager Richie Garner hasn't praised the venue enough. I'm looking forward to being under the bright lights and putting on a performance. Looking forward.
So just going to bring Richie in. So Rich, how's this gentleman been improving since you've been training with him and working with him?
I've got to be honest. When he first started off, I'm not going to say nerves got the better of him, but definitely the adrenal dump that he had before the fight, which every fighter experiences, kind of made him waste himself a little bit early. Of course, everybody's first fight, that's always going to happen. You're always going to have that initial adrenal dump. It's going to fill you full of energy, and then of course it saps you as quickly. It comes quickly, it goes quickly. And in his first fight, yeah, he suffered from that a little bit, but things have changed dramatically. In his last fight, he fought a tidy guy in Joe Beeden. Joe Beeden, very experienced guy. Joe's been around, you know that, and what I wanted was a cultured performance from Angelo. I wanted him to stay behind the jab, not put quite so much power into all of his shots, because that's something which perhaps he was doing, and set up his shots a little bit more and perhaps box in a more cultured way, which enabled him to set up the powerful shots as opposed to throwing power with every shot. He started doing that now. He's now not just doing it obviously in fights, but he's doing it every round on a gym, in the pads. And he's improved dramatically. Not only that, but as he said, he's got this strength and conditioning coach on board. It's done him the world of good. He's eating right. But I'll say this, he comes from a background in a little bit of amateur experience, perhaps not as much as people like Alex Hughes or even Jake Anthony, who's also on my books. He hasn't quite got that level of experience in the amateurs, but he's done a little bit of unlicensed boxing as well. And stepping up to the British Border Control standards is quite a big step up, but he's responded really well. I'm really, really proud of the way he's done, and he's a consummate professional in every aspect of his life, with regards to helping the promotion, promoting himself, getting sponsors on board, and his training as well. He takes everything very seriously, and it's. I've had some naughty boys on my books in the time, boys that didn't want to be in the gym.
Don't forget the milk round as well.
Yeah, he keeps himself sharp, he keeps himself in shape, and on a business level, he's on top of everything all the time. It's a pleasure to be, it's a pleasure to be managing a boy like Angelo. It really is, and I just hope he fulfills his potential.
So big praise from Richie there, Angelo. So no pressure on you. Obviously, get this fight out of the way, hopefully with another win. Where would you like to see yourself progress? Are you aiming for some sort of Celtic title, a Welsh title? What's your aim?
Richie's done a great job and got me on the MTK bill on March 1st. But I've got to put that aside for a minute. I've got a job to do Saturday. And hopefully, summertime, I can push towards the Welsh title. I can go down to super featherweight. I can make that weight comfortable. And yeah, just keep the options open really. But by the end of the year, I'd like to be world champion.
As Richie mentioned there, you've done a little bit of unlicensed boxing.
Yeah.
I mean, what's for someone who's done unlicensed boxing and box under the board of control, what's the gap? What's the gap like between the two, do you think?
I boxed in London. I did an organisation IBA, so the platform was great. We boxed in York Hall, City Pavilion, Essex, so the venues and the feeling of it was probably the same. But obviously, like you box in kind of when you box in journeyman in an unlicensed game, they're kind of punch bags really. But obviously in the professional game, they know every trick in the book. They catch you with overhand right. Yeah, they're more trickier.
And Angelo's got to be especially careful with this one. I mean, obviously, I used to be Reese's trainer. I know what he's capable of. It is a big step up, but if Angelo wants to achieve in the short space of time that he wants to achieve it, then of course it goes without saying he's got to fight people like Reese. The calibre of opponent is very high in my opinion. Reese is a former British Masters champion. You know, he was with me, I think he had 4 fights with me, maybe 5 fights with me, something like that. And in that time, he dropped 3 of his opponents, put them on their bums, especially obviously the big shot, which was Kerry Evans. Kerry was 6-0. He had previously stopped Christian Late, one of very, very few people to stop Christian Late. He can bang. Like I said, you dropped 3 of the opponents and they were heavy knockdowns as well. He's a former ABA champion. He's a great little boxer, and when he brings it, when he wants to bring it, you know, he can be a very, very dangerous fighter. I got nothing but respect for Reese. Obviously I'm disappointed he chose to go on the road to earn a living, because I always felt he could achieve more. But you know, this is a great step-up fight for Angelo. It's a great step-up fight for the two of them. I mean, if Reese wins this, you know, it keeps the British Board of Control off his back, and it puts him in contention for, perhaps for a Welsh title. Who knows? Which is exactly where Angelo wants to be. Angelo,
As a fighter coming up through the ranks, it's very important you sell tickets. So could you just mention how important it is your fans get behind you and support you along your journey?
Obviously selling tickets is massive as part of the parcel when you turn professional. I'm lucky to have a few good sponsors on board as well. You know, they buy a lot of tickets off me. And like I said on a podcast the other day, like you got to put yourself out there when you're a professional fighter. It's not just about the training and about you know, putting the work in. You got to sell yourself in a way, like, do you know what I mean? So you got to promote yourself and put yourself out there in the boxing environment.
And one thing which I think is good, Rich, I mean, you've been involved in boxing for quite a long time. At the moment in Wales, there actually seems to be lots of shows for the boxers to showcase their talents. I remember a while back, maybe very lucky to get half a dozen shows in Wales, whereas now there seems to be so many shows, it's hard to fit them in the diary.
I was about to say the exact same thing. I mean, obviously, it goes without saying that previously you only had Chris Sanagar, Paul Boyce, Sammy Sims dipped his toe in the water, as did Steve Robinson, but they weren't putting on a tremendous amount of shows. Mo Pryor, who I'm working with now, I'm essentially managing the shows for him in Wales. He's committed himself to do at least 7 shows this year. I was speaking to Lee Eaton from MTK on the phone yesterday. He wants to really bring it in Wales as well. He's got a lot of support for the fighters. It's fantastic. It gives people like Angelo, people like Jake Anthony, people like, well, we got Chris Jenkins on, you know, opportunities to progress their careers. And it's been supported as well by a rejuvenation, particularly in Newport for this show, of a lot of local sponsors, because one of the problems we've had is these shows have been losing a tremendous amount of money. A lot of people are always criticising the show, saying, well, why do fighters have to pay in, why do fighters have to pay for opponents? And it's as simple as this, and I said this on a podcast that I was on recently. People in Wales, 72,000 of them will fill, you know, Millennium Stadium to watch Anthony Joshua fight on a big screen, because they're certainly not getting anywhere near enough to watch anything from ringside unless you pay £2,000 for a ticket. But even then, people will pay £2,000 for a ticket to watch Anthony Joshua fight some guy who's got no chance of beating him. Conversely, for £60, you can be ringside and watch a guy like this give his heart and soul, you know, lay it all out there in a 50-50 fight. You know, the Welsh public need to realise if they come to these shows, they're going to be entertained. You know, we're not putting, you know, guys against journeymen who aren't going to stretch them. And I mean, the show that we did in Llandarcy last time, 3 of the home fighters were dropped. And one of them lost. Ironically, it was one of my fighters. It was David White Jr. And he had, you know, life and death struggle with his opponent. And it goes without saying that if these people come and watch the show for the price of a cinema day out, you know, for the price of a curry on a Saturday night, they're going to get 4 or 5 hours solid entertainment. They're going to be looked after. They're going to have food thrown in as well. I mean, we paid, you know, nearly £3,000 to the catering, you know, just for this show, because we want to make sure that we get it all right. And I know Lee Eaton does things exactly the same way. you know, the public have got to realise there's entertainment out there to be had, and you don't need to be going to the Millennium Stadium, or the Principality as it's now called, to watch Anthony Joshua to get that kind of entertainment. If you're a boxing fan, come and see us. And the sponsors that have come on board, we're very, very fortunate. You know, Colin Henner has supported us. There's a company, Swansea, Cardiff, Newport, Total Teamwear Wales. They've been involved in sponsoring as well. And, you know, if there's any other sponsors out there that want to get involved, you know, well, you know, you can see my number, you can see my name. I'm on Twitter at Richie Shadow. You know, you can contact me and you can get involved. And, I mean, you know, we've got yourself as a platform now. You know, getting out there on social media, pay-per-view, subscription channels going to do this. We've sold the rights to KOTV as well. You know, people will get, sponsors will get exposure as a result of being involved in these shows. And it's only now that they're starting to get involved in these shows that they're managing to break even. And myself and Mo, we don't mind putting all this time and effort into these boxers if it progresses their career, because we're all about pushing boxing in Wales. We're all about giving these boys opportunities. And sooner or later, if their education, if their boxing education is expanded to such a point as we can get them in with the likes of Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren, you'll see these guys on TV and you'll be able to say, I was there watching that guy against Rhys Saunders in a blood and guts war in the Neon, and I was entertained, and look at him now fighting for the whatever title.
So Richie just said, Angelo, about the importance of social media. So how can people follow your career?
You can either contact me on Facebook, Angelo Dragone, or I'm on Twitter and Instagram. If anybody is interested in tickets or getting involved in my career, just pop me a message and we can talk.
And the final word, what type of fight can the fans expect from you on Saturday night?
You see on Saturday night.
I'll just
answer.
Explain Angelo's style, okay? This guy goes forward, he works behind the jab, he likes to bob and weave, he likes to get his punches off. He's an exciting fighter. And, you know, with exciting fighters, there's always that element of risk, and that's what he'll give you. He's a very exciting fighter. You come and watch this fight with Rhys Saunders, you'll be entertained.
Okay, cheers guys. I'm really looking forward to the fight on Saturday night.
Thank you very much.